Moving on to the next caller, Yashwant from Andhra Pradesh is calling in. Yashwant, a very good morning to you. How can we help you?
Yeah, good morning to having this call.
Morning, I can hear you, Yashwant. Go ahead with your query.
Yeah, it bought a shares of Waaree Energies in 400
Okay.
at the price of 3,000.
Okay.
This is a long-term view, and I need to average my shares now. This is the right time or not?
Okay.
And also explain the fundamentals.
Okay. All right. Samir, I'll quickly come to you. Waaree Energies is the counter. He's sitting on a loss of roughly 2.9 lakh rupees on the counter because he's bought it at elevated levels of 3,000 rupees. But he's saying that he wants to accumulate more from a longer term perspective. Is that the right thing to do right now? What's the view?
So on Waaree, I'm not as positive. I'm very, very positive on the entire renewable energy space. We've spoken about this multiple times because, in India, we are seeing a massive shift to solar, given the government agenda of by having 500 gigawatts of renewable energy by 2030 and being net carbon neutral by 2070. So obviously the push that's coming for the renewable side is going to be phenomenal and companies in the space will benefit. But where Waaree probably has a little bit of a problem is that they have operations and exports to the US. So two things. First, of course, we're talking of reciprocal tariffs and things like that, which could hurt them. Two, you're also going to remember that the US has exited the Paris Treaty Agreement, which means that their setup of renewable energy may not be as great. So someone who's making these PV cells, which Waaree is, and they have the largest capacity in the country, could face some amount of pricing pressure because eventually they got to sell their product somewhere else, and that somewhere else could be very well India, but at not the same kind of prices that they were able to generate in the international market. So if that is the case, then obviously profitability could come under some pressure. Like I said, I'm very positive on the renewable energy space and the solar space. So if one wants to, make a good investment where valuation corrections have been significant, and you can hold on to his Waaree. But I say if you want to make further investments, there is two companies that we recommend also that have seen a huge correction in this market. One is Sterling and Wilson Solar, which is catering to the EPC side of the business, so they don't get affected by any pricing whatsoever. They basically take an order from a customer, execute it, set up the solar plant, and do the O&M. And the second is KPI Green Energy, which also does the EPC, but apart from doing the EPC, they are also an IPP. So they set up their own power plants and they sell power to the grid and to other customers for their requirements of renewable energy. And also, if somebody wants to set up a plant on their land, it's a CPP, which is they set it up for the person, they do the EPC work and put it onto the books of that individual, but they run the O&M and the rental of the land. So they earn a continual revenue stream from that. So these are the two companies that in the solar space that I would be pushing more than a Waaree at this point.
Okay, and Sterling and Wilson Solar, significant stake. I can't remember exactly how much owned by Reliance Industries now. It is dropped about 66% from the 52-week high. Bear that in mind. It's dropped quite considerably. For the year as a whole, it's down about 50%.